Good afternoon, my good friend, wherever you are on this big planet. Tell you what, I had a blast in Bear Lake. And following my slide presentation, I received a tremendous amount of support from the many people, those who were spiritually attuned, of course, to my work and could relate to all my cosmic teaching and my explanation of what the good and the bad it is all about. So it was incredible. I had a blast just driving through the desert, climbing the mountain. And I'm a desert rat, so anything below 95 degrees, I'm cold. And when I got there, I mean, it was cold. There was snow everywhere, but it was absolutely well worth the trip. All right, now following my presentation, I was asked to do a TV show by Zapruder Films Picture. They are located in Los Angeles. And of course, I want to take this opportunity to thank both the director, Jeremy, and the producer, John, for the 2 hours long taping that we did at the resort where I stayed. Now, this will be watched by 112 million Amazon Prime subscriber when it'll be ready and fully edited. They told me about 2 months from now. It's going to be a very professional job, obviously. So I guess my cosmic teachings have and will reach the general public within this lapse of time in a big way. And you will be the sole judge to all the UFO secrets and my UFO experience that was divulged in this TV show. All right, now I got a very beautiful email from Trevor. I hope he's watching those videos. Trevor, thank you very much, man. That really touched my heart. He wrote, "Hi, Dr. Cherry. Thanks very much for coming. You were magnificent. I got many compliments on having you there." That's Trevor. He is the Alien Snow Fest president. Tell you what, he's a really funny guy. I had fun with him. I mean, everything was absolutely fantastic. There was still a few things that I'm going to delegate and talk about because I guess you need to know the truth. And you know me, you can't expect less than the undiluted truth with Dr. Cherry. Now, as a rule, and by respect for all speakers that were invited, I always listen to their repertoire of wisdom because doing so allows me to learn more, obviously, okay? And not only about UFOs, but also to learn more about their personality. And this way I can check their UCI or their unique celestial identity. You know, every one of us is so different. Lots of UFO speakers were born with a heavy-duty critical mind. They're rational, they're practical, they're scientists, they're researchers. What do you expect? That's why many of them were born under the sign of Virgo. So in 3 days spent with those guys, close quarter, I had plenty of time to get to know each one of them. And they are not only very friendly, but terrific speakers. So they are top names in the ufology world. So, they don't need any introduction from Dr. Cherry. So you're going to see their pictures. You're going to see everything that I put on that newsletter. Very worthwhile for you to go there and take a little trip with me in Bear Lake. All right, Nick. Nick is so funny. Nick Pope. I took a picture with him and George, and he said, "Hey, Louis, let me have your book." Let me have, I felt a bit shy. He says, no, let me have your book. So here he goes. And that picture of George and I is already my bestseller. Right? Thank you, Nick. He's so funny. This guy is crazy in a good way. And of course, he's British, so we spent some time at the bar with some beer. It's fine. There's some really funny picture of Nick. You want to watch it. And it is a Virgo. So is my good friend Richard. Richard Dolan is also a Virgo. I mean, you're talking about the most critical, down-to-earth, born FBI agent, investigator, writer, talker. So that's the beauty of being born under the sign of Virgo. Again, you can also be born under any other sign, but as a rule, Earth sign or those born in May, in January, in September are really, really, really born a scientist and investigator. They are part of the Earth element. Not like me, I'm a Pisces, I'm into water, I'm into the spirits. So anyway, you could be any other sign of the zodiac. You may have a strong Virgo and then be also, much of a scientist. Or you could also be born under any other sign and have a strong moon in Pisces, dragon in Pisces. Then you become highly spiritual and you'll be able to relate to my psychical information involving UFO phenomena. So now just go and look at those terrific pictures, get to know those guys like I did. If you ever meet them, they don't bite. They're really, really, really nice. We also had a new speaker there that I never met before. Her name is Danielle. She did a phenomenal job also introducing her work. So she's a healer. So just, you probably will see her somewhere in time. Okay, the only problem, and it is actually a big problem, is that the place, there was a lack of light in that place. And the energy was weird until I find out that this damn place is haunted. So obviously, the soul who was there may be religious, may be really practical and skeptical, or atheist, God knows what. He doesn't like UFOs. I have no idea. Doesn't like me. So all I can tell you is that something did not feel right. Usually when I speak, I get loaded. People are queuing to have readings. I didn't feel exactly right, and they did not feel right either. But many, many of them came and told me, Dr. Thury, your presentation is so unique, so different. Oh my gosh, I learned a lot. Thank you very much. I mean, all the way to the last day, I had people endorsing my work. So I can only hope that Trevor next year will invite me again. But you also need to pick up a different place without disturbing any ghost and hopefully trust my wisdom. After all, I taught many universal laws to Victoria and crystals at contact in the desert. I told them exactly when and why it's important to do those public events and under specific cosmic auspices so that they get more success and more people. But this doesn't mean they didn't drop me because they think I'm a psychic. But this is life, This is life. So there is live links in the newsletter. Click and read Contact in the Desert, UFO Science and the Sickos. I've been lumped by these people who don't know much about me. It's a matter of miscommunication, misinformation, I don't know, but they lump me as a psychic and have absolutely no idea of the incredible benefit anyone can only receive from not only my presentation, but any other speaker. So inviting only scientists is what they think is the right thing to do. So be it, it's their business. Who am I to tell them what to do? But why would you fix it if it's not broken? That's bad news. Secondly, not all people are rational and practical. Victoria is a Virgo. So what do you think? Practical, down-to-earth, scientist, naturally. She's not cosmic conscious. But, you can only judge people through your intelligence, your education, your experiences, and most of all, your stars. And not everybody is born a Virgo, down-to-earth, practical scientist. There are also highly spiritual people who needs a different type of food, a more spiritual inclined information involving extraterrestrials. Sad enough, a lot of these people out there would miss that. We'll miss unless a miracle happen. I don't know. But once you have been classified or misjudged, it's very difficult to turn around and realize that Dr. Thury is not a psychic. He's a different type of scientist with an incredible, incredible wisdom that should be shared because, as I said before, incredible experiences with incredible people that have incredible wisdom to share. It was appreciated, and even Trevor, the president, I'm not lying. I'm not making it up. It's like my prediction. You don't make these things up. It's real. So we see from there. Okay, now added to this newsletter, Second part is to kind of refreshing your memories, my friend. It is important for you to remember. Um, and that's the beauty of working with George Norrie. You know, even on stage, he says, you know what, Dr. Turi predicted the lung disease. He predicted the fire and all these animals dying on my show in public. And he endorses me because he knows after so many years working with him. I remember I started with Art Bell in 1995. He had time to investigate my work, and he's constantly endorsing me in public. Thank you, George. And of course, Tom is my manager. And of course, you know, they've done a tremendous work asking questions, not only on the panels, we had many panels. The pertinent question that were asked was absolutely phenomenal, but also those stimulated by Tom Deinheiser and Laurie Wagner, you know, responding to the public demands. So it was absolutely phenomenal. We talked about the moon. They were asking me if somebody knew about the moon. And I said, well, the moon was higher from Jupiter. Jupiter has many, many moons. It brought closer in the name of, for lack of words, with nukes, you know, from the ships of the Draconis calculated nukes. They removed the moon from the gravitational forces of Jupiter and brought it to this solar system when they built it. That's why the moon is loaded with crater and we're next door. We don't have any. Then I explained that the moon is a little bit more than a dead rock hanging out there for the sake of beauty. The moon represents the emotional response to life, the same cycle of woman menstruation, 21 and a half days. The word lunatic, moody, crabby, that tells you that the stars are much more than dead rock hanging out there for the sake of beauty or for extraterrestrial wanted to have UFO base in it. So, you know, two things that you can be sure. There are no UFO base on the moon, and we're never, ever going to go to Mars. That is my prediction. Another prediction that I made is within the next 2 to 5 years, your government will tell you once, they will tell you the truth, that they know nothing, zero about UFOs, who they are, and what they want. So they'll come public within these lapse of time. One of these big UFO guy, bestseller in New York, he said it would take 100 years for the government to divulge the secrets and for us to connect with ETs. He has no clue that it is already in your head. Remember, positive, negative, that's the law. That's what I said in my presentation. Remember, positive, negative, up and down, black and white, the front, the back, God, devil, the yin and yang, male, female, a day, night. God, you cannot have opposites. You cannot have a life without opposite. And that's why you have 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 sides of the brain. Okay? You have the reptilian brain and you have the draconis brain. The reptilian brain is when you're negative. Remember, those entities who lives in time and space, in dark matter, can only survive like fleas on a dog, with your fears, with your insecurity. That's why they created all religion, because religions have killed more people than all the wars, all the natural disasters, and all the disease combined together. They created all religion because it splits. Okay, now they stimulate the mind of scientists to create nukes, to weaponize the weather. They do everything they can to make sure we stay on this dense physical world. That's why they stimulate humans to be rational, to be practical, to be scientists, to become atheists. They do not want you to dwell closely, remotely to the spirit, because it's a physical thing. Now, the Dracani stimulate the mind of humans in a different way. They stimulate the mind of people like Mozart or Beethoven to create beautiful music. They stimulate the mind and the fetus. They can also activate the fetus to give you special physical abilities like Michael Jackson. You're never going to teach him how to dance and sing. Okay, they stimulate scientists to create technology that allows you to be born again if you died of a heart attack. They do all sorts of things. They allow me and stimulate those scientists to create technology to allow me to talk to you, to educate you. Understand, it's very, very simple. Do not look far for extraterrestrial. They're in your heads. They're part of you since the get-go. It's only when we raise our own cosmic vibrations that they will become solid. Remember the law. The future is nothing else than the reincarnations of your thoughts. Anything that you have ever wanted to have, once upon a time was a thought. Well, let me ask you, what was New York 500 years ago? What was Paris or Washington? What was LA 500 years ago? Nothing. Look at it now. We create our reality with the help of the draconic, progressive, positive, love, education, intelligence, forgiveness, humanitarianism, care, or the reptilians, the devil, the evil, and negativity. Those want you to drink crazy, to take legal or illegal drugs so they can hijack your body, your mind, and your soul, then lead you to buy a machine gun, AK-47, go to school and kill everybody. And then you kill yourself. Okay? This is why the kids who are very vulnerable to the reptilians, those children will always do the worst of the worst they can do in our college, university, because their parents do not understand that a child has to assimilate over 2,000 years of a human experience in a few years. But who the hell, my friend, who the hell is there to teach them their relationship with the divine, their relationship with the cosmic code, how God speaks through the signs? So do you understand that by being rational, by being skeptic, agnostic, atheist, you cannot allow people like me, that the U.S. Department of Education certainly will not do that, or any church, to allow me to go and start to expose God cosmic design and Jesus' initial cosmic ministry. Remember, my friend, it's simple. 12 signs of the zodiac, 12 apostles, 12 saints, 12 jury, 12 hours of the day, 12 months of the year. And you're going to say, well, this is against my religion. But go to drcherry.com, scroll down, and you're going to see all the popes being taught astrology by the Vatican Council, all the pope being thrown under the sign of Leo. And remember, J.P. Morgan wrote, millionaires do not use astrology. Billionaires do. So if it's good for all the popes, and if it's good for all the billionaires and the Illuminati, okay, it's good for you too. That's where we are. All right. So, my friend, there is so much you need to know as far as extraterrestrials are concerned. Now, this does not mean because they are using psychical energy that they will not manifest themselves in this dense physical world, because I've been with them 5 times, and it's not a light, and it's not a walking, it's a freaking flying saucers suspended 30 feet above my head. It's me talking to them, being inside of the flying saucers and watching them taking the features of my pregnant wife out. It's a long story, my friends. It's a really, really long but real story. I am real. I'm not making anything up. At 70 years old, believe me, I got better things to do than to make up UFO stories to entertain you. There is so much gravity behind you refusing to open up to the psychical, to the spiritual aspect of ufology. And by looking at what UFO conferences are all about nowadays, it seems that people are more interested in anything and everything that dwells with government, anything and everything that dwells with conspiracy, secret names, big names from the Navy and the Army, than the real UFO contactee and their experiences. That's a shame. Every one of us is different. We have an inherited karmic UCI, unique celestial identity. You may look like your mom, like your dad, your brother, your sister, yet you are the biggest strangers to your closest family member, because you're never going to think, behave, create, or have the same fate than your closest family member. This is why, by just serving one portion of society, those people are totally oblivious of the effect that they are suffering from the reptilians, who do not want me to be there and start to wake you up what's really going on in your head. Maybe I need your help. I know you need mine. All right, my friends, I don't want to be too dramatic. Now, remember, my SOS to the World Deadly Window are very real. When I tell you to be ready for shocking surprise, when I told you to be ready for the reptilians, aiming for famous people and their children, I wrote this before Before Kobe Bryant got killed, I mentioned helicopter, aeronautic, sudden release of energy, explosion. I mentioned plane crash, and then we had the plane crash that 4 people died. Now you have the US military, they're investigating a report in Afghanistan of another plane crash. Now you have a Florida man that was arrested for pointing out a laser at a plane that was landing and over the airport, and technology is mentioned. There's 2 people that died in an explosion that shook Houston in Texas. The word explosion is part of my quatrain. Boston bombshell undercut Trump's impeachment defense. We are told the shocking, surprising, mind-boggling, original bombshell type of energy. And it's happening right now during this window. I mentioned earthquakes, my friend. I mentioned earthquake. My window will always, you like it or not, if you investigate me carefully, my window will always point out earthquake of a magnitude at or above 6.0. On the 22nd, we had a 6.2. On January 24, we had a 6.7. On the 25th, we had a 6.1. And on the 26th, we had a 6.3. Now, if you think this type of large earthquakes or the seismic activity, our regional activity is normal, you got something wrong. It is not normal, but it will happen during my windows. This is why all these scientists secretively, those who feel the ridicule, will dig into my website and read my articles so they can uncover how I do it. But be sure they will never, ever tell you, if they do, where they found the source of information. Because that's how it works. So you can read my email that I sent to USGS, where weeks ahead of time, I give them specific date and specific magnitude above 7.0. Both of them took places. Did they answer me? Of course not. I'm not a geologist. You know what? I'm a psychic. I'm a woo-woo. No, I'm not. I'm a different scientist. I created software. I use the same type of software that NASA's used to send the shuttle, with the only difference, of course, that I understand that those stars are a bit more than dead rock hanging there for the sake of beauty, and they have a divine purpose. Wow, do you think the FBI visited me twice just because they wanted to visit me? No. I give them 2 specific dates. I was stupid enough to go to their website and say, hey, there's going to be a terrorist attack in Paris on that day and another one in New York on that day. Next thing I know, twice. 4 kids, 30, 35 years old kid came and knocked on my house. Did they learn anything when I told them I use a software? Did they try to dig into metaphysics of the cosmic core, or try to help me in developing this type of science? No. Forensic astrology is for the dreamer. Yeah. Meantime, the reality is here. My friend, go and read everything that I wrote. And remember, this nasty, nasty virus is not a joke. I saw it coming. And it is not a snake. It's something that is produced by birds' poo-poo. I wrote everything about it. Even George mentioned it on that UFO conference. My friend, it is serious. So you need to support me. You need to support me. Is your life worth $5 to avoid to catch the virus? You know, Nostradamus during the old days used natural means, very, very natural means to save the French from the plague. Okay, and all I want to give you now is the same thing. I want to give you these natural means to avoid becoming a victim of coronavirus. Coronavirus is not a joke. It's going to get much worse before it gets better. Okay, a lot of people will make it. So if you $5, and I'm not going to give it for free because you can't afford $5 on my ass. Okay, I want you to support me. If you think I'm real, if you think I have something, then common sense dictates that you should support me. I should never beg for $5. It is not for the $5, believe me. It is not for that. It's for you to make a commitment to yourself and to myself, to my cosmic wisdom, and be part of that new movement. So if you want to know what to do to avoid becoming as part of the statistic and maybe die, well, just give me $5. Maybe your life is worth that much. Jesus have mercy. All right, my good friend, you know what? I want to take this opportunity one more time to thank all of you for watching. I'm asking you, if you like my work, say, hey, Dr. Turi, we like your work. Join my YouTube channel, and most of all, talk about it, because a true UFO contactees, blessed or cursed with a UFO predictive legacy, is very rare. And I am real. All right, my friend, make it a beautiful day. I'm not sure when I will come back, because I'm going to let you digest this video and then let you make a move. Until then, make it a beautiful day, my friend. Bye-bye.